not something that you really relate Malayalam cinema to. They are known to explore every kind of genre, and if this is the beginning of them exploring this genre, I am all for it. I really hope that this gets better and better and more refined. First things first, this movie claims to be the most violent Malayalam film ever made, but it might as well be India's most brutal and violent film ever. Probably the goriest film of all time, and maybe even makes a solid case for being called a slasher film, a genre that it fits perfectly. Now that we have established what the film deals with and explores in its 2 hour 24-minute runtime, one thing is for sure that this film is not for the weak hearted, and it's also not for those hardcore, elite, purist cinephiles who would look for story and reason and logic in every film. Um, and those are not the strengths of a film like Marco, because in a film like Marco, story takes a back seat, and what really matters more is the visual appeal that the film comes with. And in that department, I mean, this film succeeds with all the flying colors. If you are in the theater just for entertainment purpose, you're in for an exhilarating couple of hours for sure, and a few moments especially will make you go through a lot of feelings at once, like it did with me. Now the dichotomy here is, once you realize you have come for a Malayalam film, your mind struggles to accept that this is a Malayalam film, because this is the first time we are seeing something like this ever coming out of Kerala. And uh, Malayalam films are known for more substance than style, and there have been instances where they've found a really fine balance between substance and style. For example, Talumala. But Marco is more like Animal, but on steroids. It's like Animal without the misogyny, and thank God for that. The wow factor here doesn't lie in the twists and turns because of the very predictable run of the mill revenge story, but it lies in the fact that how you get to those twists and turns and how it all, takes place on screen. Unni Mukundan is firing on all cylinders, and literally so. He comes packaged with all kinds of guns and armory you can possibly imagine, and when he runs out of them, he will use his teeth. And it gets so unrealistic at one point that it also becomes laughable. But then, those are the things that you have to sacrifice to be able to enjoy this roller coaster of a ride, if at all this is your cup of tea. I wish there was more stuff explored with the female characters, especially things like, the love story between Victor and his girlfriend, the love story between Marco and his fiancée. But, here the female presence is merely used as a spectator, or maybe a possible bait for a very predictable twist in the movie. The fact that this film is doing so well in Kerala tells you a lot about the audience there, that they have evolved to such an extent that they are open to every kind of cinema. If they enjoyed a film like, All We Imagine as Light, which is up for Golden Globes, they're also, embracing a film like Marco with open arms. So I, for one, I'm not really a fan of such kind of film, such kind of genre. But then, the fact that this has come on the back of films like KGF doing well, Animal doing well, tells you a little bit about where we are headed as well, because this genre is now bringing, high footfall and box office collections. And of course, Malayalam industry also had to come to the party sooner or later. Marco sure has flaws like any other film, and there are some rather unrealistic and unfathomable things happening on screen, like a literally newborn fetus being treated as a mannequin and going through stuff that a newborn will never survive, first of all. But then, as I said, if you are willing to not question what's happening, why is it happening, which by the way you do expect from a Malayalam film, that they will go deep into the psychological mind of these people. Why are these men going to such lengths to take revenge? What's the need of a chainsaw or acid when you can kill with a gun as well? If you're willing to sacrifice all these questions coming into your head, you might as well enjoy this insane ride. But if you're a sucker for proper good Malayalam cinema of depth and substance like I am, then you really have to first condition your mind before walking in the theater and expect nothing but loud and non-stop background score, gory and violent actions without consequences, and a lot of cigar smoking as well, which makes the protagonist look cooler apparently, and just a little more masculine as well. Doesn't matter what the situation is, even if his friend just got his arm chopped, Marco had to smoke first. But jokes aside, I think it's an enjoyable film. Put in your comments what did you think of Marco, and we'll probably hopefully have a more in-depth spoiler discussion very soon with other guests on our channel. Until then, Merry Christmas and see you next time.